You're listening to John Carroll University Radio, WJCU, University Heights.
Good afternoon, Jewish Cleveland. My name is Benjamin Bresky, and you are in tune to Jewish Community Radio here on 88.7 WJCU. On the phone, we have Mrs. Zahava Neuman. She is president of the Segula organization. She's going to talk about how they help Jewish handicapped kids here in the Cleveland area. Mrs. Neuman?
Hello.
How are you?
We're very good, thank you.
Okay, now let's just say why we're having you on today, because tomorrow is your annual auction.
Correct.
Okay. Why don't we just start by talking about the auction, when it's going to be, where it's going to be?
Okay, it's going to be after Shabbat at 8:30 p.m. at the Montefiore Social Hall. And this is our major fundraiser for our group.
Okay. And why don't we talk about Segula, about how many, is it called handicapped kids?
You can call these children anything. I mean, we call them children with special needs, children with challenges. Segula is an organization that provides Jewish children an inclusion program in the Jewish day schools. For, these are all children who have some challenges, either physical challenges or developmental challenges, children with CP, children with Downs. And until we came into the picture 8 years ago, these children were really denied day school education because the schools could absolutely not afford it, and they didn't have any expertise in this area. So there were a few parents 8 years ago who decided that we wanted our children in a day school, in a Jewish environment, along with their peers, along with their siblings, and to get the same benefits as typical children get. So we started a pilot program 8 years ago with 3 children, and we've been in business, so to speak, ever since.
And how many children do you do this year?
We do every year anywhere from 8 to 12 children.
Okay. Are they all from the Cleveland area?
No. We have a child coming in who boards in a home here in Cleveland, a private home, and attends one of the day schools. She lives in Dayton. And there was nothing. Her parents searched throughout the United States for an inclusion program such as ours, and there are not too many.
So Segula is like unique in the country.
Absolutely.
Do you have any maybe inspiring stories or maybe funny stories about the children? Anything that comes to mind?
This isn't funny. This is really very special, though. Segula got a letter 2 days ago from 2 girls from the Fuchs Beit Sefer School who had a birthday party, 2 young girls, and in lieu of presents, on their invitation, they asked all the children to please bring $5 for a tzedakah project. And they sent us this beautiful picture of themselves sitting and hugging on a chair and presented us with this $165 check for the children of Segula. And I thought that really moved me so much. It was so beautiful that these 2 young children would understand how important it was for other children to get a Jewish education just like they're getting. So
that's nice.
That was nice.
Now, briefly, let's say you have a kid with Down syndrome. I mean, how do you teach them how to daven or study Torah or something like that? Okay.
What we do is we do not provide the curriculum because we are an inclusion program. Our children start out in the day school classroom. In other words, they're not in a self-contained class going off by themselves, all these handicapped kids. They are in the typical class with their peers. And, of course, the younger they're started in this environment, the more they pick up because they learn more from their peers than practically the teacher. But Segula provides them with an instructional aide who is with the child the entire day, and we also provide them with a coordinator who supervises the curriculum in the classroom and modifies it and adjusts the curriculum so that they can benefit from the same curriculum that their friends are learning. And that's how we do it. And they learn, believe me, they daven, they do math, they do science, they do social studies. They are really in the classroom. They're pulled out for very short amounts of time. And mostly, if I would tell you, they're pulled out mostly in Judaics, because that may be a little harder. So they'll be pulled out, let's say, for Lashon, a few minutes here. They'll be pulled out for a Chumash for a few minutes there. But they really start the day and end the day in the typical classroom and spend most of the day with their peers.
That's nice. Okay, again, our guest is Zahava Neuman, and for more information on the Segula organization, you can call 216-763-1000, and their website is segula.org. That's spelled Segula. And your auction fundraiser is tomorrow night.
That's correct. Tomorrow night, this is our main fundraiser, and we're looking forward to seeing everyone.
Okay.
Hope we have a nice turnout.
Mrs. Neuman, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. Have a good Shabbos.
Oi, biddy diddy diddy die. Cleveland Community Jewish. Oi, diggy 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 die. You are listening to Cleveland Jewish Community Radio.
Okay, and we are back here on the air. That was our promo from Julie. Julie is one of the students of the new Jewish Spirituality Master's Program at the Siegal College of Jewish Studies. You want to say hi to everyone?
Yeah, hi. We're in here with a bunch of friends from around town, and we have the majority of us in the Siegal College Ruach, new Jewish Spirituality Master's Degree Program.
Okay, why don't you each go around and say your names, and I want to know why you decided to take this program. Maybe
Hi.
where you come from.
I'm Becky, come from Chicago. Sounded like a good opportunity. Wanted to grow spiritually and help others.
Okay.
That's what we're trying to do.
I'm Ariel. I'm the wandering traveler. I'm not really in Ruach. I'm actually from New York, and I'm just hanging out in Cleveland.
I'm Jeremy Goldberg. I hail out here from West Hartford, Connecticut. And I came out here to get a chance to meet some of the best Jewish spiritual masters of our generation. Only in Cleveland.
Okay.
It's almost like Spot.
Yes, except
I'm
there's no
Ann B. Young,
snow.
and I'm from Wilmington, Delaware, and I just wanted the opportunity to explore Judaism more and find my derech in the Jewish world.
Okay. And Matt, you wanted...
My name is Matt Tonti. I'm originally from Cleveland Heights, from Shannon, as Sweet said, the greatest street in the world. And hi, Mom.
Now you're interesting because the rest of these guys have been here all year. You're friends with them. Then you just decided a month ago that you want to sign up for these classes too.
No. I've been in school since the beginning.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I actually it was kind of Yaakov's discussions with me, and I was like, well, I don't know. Yeah, I got a couple friends who I think could start your program. He was like, I got this great program, and it's mamish. It's gonna be really great. And so I was like, all right, well, I can ask my friends.
Now also in the studio we have Yisroel Mendelson, my
Hello,
loyal
everybody.
co-host.
How you doing, Ben? How are you? How's everybody?
I know you came on like a year and a half ago, and now you're back in town.
Yeah, it's great to be back here. Back to
Okay.
You're
not in class.
No, right
Not
now
yet.
I'm just around. Taking a little classes, going a little here, but not exactly. I'm not exactly into schooling yet.
Okay. You want to say something, Julie?
So,
All right.
I just want to give a shout out to Rabbi Yaakov Travis,
Yeah!
our professor. Who,
Okay.
without him, we wouldn't be living in Devekut land, Cleveland, where we
Okay.
are right now.
Now, I want to talk about what the program is like and how people can get into it, but why don't we have some music or something first?
All right.
Are you ready?
Yeah, we'll do a little piece.
Okay.
We should do a little Tubi Schwartz on here.
Okay, come on. The clock
Okay.
is ticking. Come on.
Okay.
You're listening to Jewish Community Radio. Our phone number is 397-4438. Ladies and gentlemen,
Here we
Matt
go, all right.
Tonti live from the studio.
I love trees. Do you love trees?
I love trees.
I love trees. We love trees. It's the birthday of the tree. Even though spring pollen will make you wheeze. Thank you.
That's it? All right. Now, you also wanted to do some poetry or storytelling or something? Okay.
I'll introduce.
Okay. You know, every time you move the mic, everyone can hear it squeaking.
Oh, yeah?
Oy vey.
I'm sure that sounds great on radio.
Yeah, but that's okay.
So here's Ann B. Young, a professional storyteller, pretty much. She's a great storyteller, and she has one for the holiday of To Be Shvat.
Which is tonight?
Yeah, tonight and tomorrow.
Okay.
All day. Yeah.
Hey, everyone out there. This story is actually inspired and adopted by Matt Tanti, who you just heard playing that lovely song. And I asked him to help me create a good story for Tu B'Shvat. So I want to share it with you this fine Friday afternoon. A young girl was on her way to visit her grandmother with her parents, and she was driving down the street. Well, she actually wasn't driving. She was riding in the back seat. And all of a sudden, she's looking out the window, and all of a sudden she gets really excited when they pass by a stand of trees. Now, she's passed by these woods almost every day of her life. But today, she was extremely excited because not so much for the trees, but the sign in front of the trees. It said that a new shopping center was coming to these woods, full of her favorite stores, her toy stores, an ice cream store, clothing stores, and even a movie theater. And Momish, does she love movie theaters and movies. So they get to her grandmother's, and she runs up the stairs to her grandmother's apartment room and bursts in and says, Grandma, guess what? They're building a shopping center down the street from you in those woods. Aren't you excited? Oh, that's nice, said the grandmother quietly. She looked away. Well, the granddaughter and the grandmother were very close, and the granddaughter could tell that the grandmother didn't seem quite as excited as she was about this new shopping center. What's wrong, grandmother? Aren't you excited? A shopping center, movies, ice cream, toy stores. I'm so excited. Have I ever told you about my ribbons? Have I ever shown you my box of ribbons? Asked the grandmother quietly. No, what kind of ribbons? Hair ribbons? I want ribbons. I want to see the ribbons. Why don't you go into my closet? Go on the top shelf and you'll see a box. Bring it over to me. Let me tell you about it. So the granddaughter takes a stool and bounces up on the third step of the stool and looks into the closet, and there's all sorts of boxes in there of different sizes and shapes and colors. But at the very top in the corner, there's a wooden box. She pulls it down and brushes off the dust, and inside are all of these ribbons. She brings it over to her grandmother excitedly. What are these ribbons? Let me tell you about the ribbons, said the grandmother. When I was about 8 years old, I didn't live here my whole life in this apartment. When I was a little girl, even younger than you, I lived in a house in the country, in this beautiful country surrounded by forests and trees, and the houses were really spread out. And when I was 8 years old, my father gave me a little sapling for my birthday. Now, there were other trees in our backyard, but this sapling was just for me in honor of my 8th birthday. So we planted it together, and then that afternoon we celebrated. And my friends came, and we had ice cream and cake and singing all around this tree. And to celebrate my sapling and my birthday shared, I tied a ribbon around the tree. And I would visit the tree every day after school, and I would talk to it. I'd give it little hugs, but it wasn't very big at that time. And I would read under it and nap under it sometimes on a nice warm day. And as it came around to my 9th birthday, I noticed that the ribbon was getting a little tighter. So on my 9th birthday, I decided to tie a new ribbon around it, and I took the old ribbon off. And this kept happening. It kept getting a little bigger and a little bigger. So each year on my birthday, I would tie a new ribbon. And each ribbon got a little longer. And my tree was growing. It was getting bigger and bigger. And soon, when I used to have to look down on my sapling, soon all I had to do is look outside my room on the second floor, and I'd look across from my tree because it had gotten so big. I remember one year, and the grandmother held up a ribbon. Yeah, this year when this ribbon was around the tree, I remember a squirrel made a nest in my tree. And then she held up another ribbon. And this year I noticed an owl would make a little home in one of the holes because it had gotten so big. And one night, I think I saw it fly back and eat up a worm. Well, and she was holding up the ribbons, the grandmother. Yeah, this year was of the Great Depression, and this year was when little Johnny, my brother, was born. And this year, she held up a very long ribbon. It looked to the granddaughter like the longest ribbon she'd ever seen. This year was the last ribbon I tied around my tree. What happened? Well, as the years went on, I wasn't around as much, but I came home every year from college and even thereafter, and I would tie a ribbon around my tree. But my parents, as I got older, they decided to move into a different house. And so we had to sell the house. And the new people, there were new people in the house. Is this tree still there? Do you ever get to visit it? Well, unfortunately, the tree's not there anymore. They tore it down, the new owners, and they wanted to build up. The community was building up. Houses were getting built closer together. I think maybe they cut it down to give to another house or to build a pool in the back. And so no, it's not still there. It's not still there. They cut down your tree. They can't cut down your tree. And as the granddaughter was saying this, she realized that the trees she was so excited about down the street were going to be cut down. Wait, grandmother. Does this mean they're going to cut down all the trees down the street? Grandmother got a sad look on her face. She didn't want to disappoint her granddaughter, but she didn't want to lie to her either. Well, from the sign, it seems that way. But they can't do that. They can't do that. Well, sometimes, these things happen, unfortunately. They can't. And so the granddaughter was so moved by this story of what the grandmother told her and these ribbons and everything, that afterwards she went home and the next day at school, she told all her friends about this story. She had a nice group of friends that she told, and these friends were also moved. And they wrote letters, and they would stand around the tree and sing songs in protest. But unfortunately, contracts were signed and agreements were made, and as much energy and power they had, they couldn't stop the shopping center from being built. But their energy was so inspiring, and their dedication was so inspiring and so powerful that they were able to convince them to save 30 trees in the center of the shopping center, because it was not like an indoor mall. It was a big shopping center around. And so they were able to save 30 trees. And the day that the bulldozers came, the granddaughter and her friends tied ribbons around all the trees that they were going to save and celebrated. And then the next week, she had the first of her many birthdays at those trees. Yeah. Thank you.
Where does that story come from?
Matt Tonti, as I said. He made it up last week.
Okay, and talking about trees, let's give a little bit of what is Tu B'Shvat.
All right, well, this is being adapted from Rabbi Avraham Aryeh Trugman, who lives on Moshav Modi'in in Israel. And I thought it was really beautiful. I wanted to share it with all of you out there. Tu B'Shvat literally means the 15th day of the month of Shvat. And it's also a full moon. And 1 month later from this full moon today is Purim. And then 1 month later from that is Pesach. So these holidays are coming one after each other on 3 successive full moons. And it symbolizes us both the beginning of spring as well as welling up of the forces of redemption. So coming out of Egypt and slavery to a state of freedom is intimately connecting us to the transition of nature from a state of hibernation and inaction to one of rebirth and rejuvenation. So with that being said, I just want to bless everyone to go deep within themselves this Tu B'Shvat, to discover all your potential for holiness and to let it flow from each moon, from this moon to the next moon to the next moon. And Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Thank you. Now I want to ask you that was very nice. Thank you. I want to ask you, part of the master's program is job placement. So where are your all jobs at?
I work at Fairmont Temple and Emmanuel, teaching 8th, 3rd, and 8th grade.
And what do you teach there?
I teach values and nature and Hebrew.
Okay.
This is Becky or Bela. I teach 5th grade at Temple Emmanuel, and I have an Israel Chug there on Sundays. And I'm also tutoring for the Tree of Knowledge Foundation, which serves all kids everywhere, all ages.
And we have Mr. Jeremy Goldberg.
Yeah, I'm teaching this semester at Fairmount Temple in their Monday night high school program, and also help out with children's services at Bethel Synagogue.
And what do you teach?
I've been teaching a class last semester called Searching for Spirituality, exploring experiences of Jewish spirituality and other religions. And this year we're doing some bibliodrama, taking a look at characters from from the Torah of ancient stories and letting them live a little bit in our world, see what that looks like.
Okay, Anne?
I did a hug the other day at Temple Emmanuel, and I'm going to be telling a story this Sunday at Tifereth, Israel. And I'm open to anyone who wants to have me as a storyteller in their congregation or school. I want to build my storytelling experience and resume.
And Matt, where do you teach?
I teach at Fairmont Temple, little cute third graders. And I also teach 8th graders at Bethanu.
What do you teach them?
Whatever they want to learn.
No, is it a specific class? Or?
Yeah, I'm teaching 3rd graders. I'm teaching Torah stories. 8th graders, we're doing kind of values through movies. And I just started doing a guitar hug at Fuchs Mizrahi.
Okay. Now, maybe you don't all have to answer this question, but when do you get your degree, and what are you going to do with it when you finish? I mean, what is your final goal?
We're going to Disneyland.
We're all planning to graduate in about a year and a half. By that time, we'll be very learned and versed in all Judaism, particularly spirituality. And, then after that, we could just pray for it, and it'll happen. So.
No, but are you going to be professional Jewish educators, or, what do you get when you finish?
The goal of the program is to prepare the students for either careers in Jewish education or pre-rabbinate degrees. So the idea is that after graduating in a year, be able to either help the Cleveland community or other Jewish communities.
That's nice. What would you like to say?
Ariel has a poem that she wants to read.
Okay.
Please.
So I figure, since it's
and someone opened the door for Ernie there.
Since it is Tu Shvat and everything, I thought I would try and write a more environmental poem about Tu Shvat. And what I would love is if Matt could do some guitar in the background while I read it. That would be awesome. So here we go.
Okay. You're listening to Jewish Community Radio.
I'm the forest floor, deep beneath white snow, lying rich with dark brown soil, covered in crawling inchworms and scrappy oak leaves that fell in the fall. I'm the old oak tree, standing tall with strong roots, drinking up icy water and searching the sky for warm rays, barren branches waiting for spring. I am the gray squirrel, scampering up the oak bark, holding acorns in my mouth, bushy tail bobbing in the cold wind, beady eyes searching for the hiding place. I am the small bug, buried in layers of oak, crunching on brown, hiding from the woodpecker, working fast to survive. I am the wandering human, covered in layers of clothing, walking slowly on icy ground, grabbing the oak tree for support, celebrating the birthday of the trees like the ancestors before me.
That's nice. Thank you. I wanna hear maybe a Devar Torah for this week's Torah Parsha or something. I know we only have about 5 minutes left. Or maybe you want to go around and say your final words or something.
I just want to say something about, just because it is the birthday of the trees, and we're really honoring trees in our current day, we have a lot of environmental problems, which I just want to give just a tip or a few tips out there, and please, join me whenever I say something. But one thing that we can do to honor the trees is to recycle our paper. I know that sounds really, really obvious, but 40% of our garbage is paper products. And it's a pretty high number, and most of paper product can be recycled. And also, when you're buying paper, folks, make sure that you buy 100% post-consumer recycled paper, because sometimes these companies try to trick you, and they write 100% recycled or 100% paper made from trees, and you get confused because you think, oh, it's 100% made from trees, but really, all paper is made from trees, and post-consumer paper is actually made from the paper that we put out on our tree lawns and we put in recycle bins and is actually being reused. So there's only a few companies actually recycling already used paper, so we should make sure to buy that. That's 100% post-consumer recycled.
Okay.
So that's one tip.
Yeah, we only have a couple minutes left, so I don't know. You want to say something? You want to end with a song, maybe? I want to hear that. I want to hear that Shalom Aleichem song. and we'll close out.
We'll do Tu B'Shvat Higia and then Shalom Aleichem.
Okay, let me just end the show. This is Jewish Community Radio. We broadcast every Friday afternoon from 1 to 1:30 and every Sunday morning from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. For more information, you can email me at jewishradio@hotmail.com. My name is Benjamin Bresky. My guests this week have been members of the students of the new Jewish Spirituality Master's Program at the Siegal College of Jewish Studies. If you want to take classes, their phone number is 216-464-4050. And their website is siegelcollege.edu. That's spelled SIEGAL college.edu. Okay.
All right, wherever you are, in your cars, in your home, preparing Shabbos dinner, or just hanging out, sing along. Tu B'Shvat Higia, Agla Ilano. 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 Sharet, Malachi Yom, Melech Malachi Alamachim, Akados Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Sharet, Malachi Yom, Melech Malachi Alamachim, Akados Baruch Hu. Kohen, Kohen, Shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi. Shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Yom, Melech Malachi Alamachim, Akados Baruch Hu. Bafuni Shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Yom, Melech Malachi Alamachim, Akados Baruch Hu. Setzehem Shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi.
University Radio, WJCU, University Heights.
All right, coming up next is AT Network News. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week.
AP Update, I'm Lisa Meyer. President Bush is appointing a blue ribbon panel to look at pre-war intelligence about Iraq's weapons programs. He's expected to announce the people who will serve on that panel.
When my family found out I was on drugs, they were just terrified.
Everyone that loves her was devastated.
I mean, it got to the point where my mom couldn't even sleep if I wasn't home.
My parents almost got a divorce because of my drug use.
They were constantly bailing me out of trouble and paying off drug dealers and pawn shops and lawyers and hospital bills.
I don't think I'd ever cried as much in my entire life.
There was no time that she didn't worry about what was going on with me, and you could see it on her face.
He did not know how to take control of his life. The drugs had done it.
It was the closest thing to walking death I can imagine.
And I remember my mother saying to me one day, "You're going to die if you don't get help." I wanted to have my life back and my family back. And that's when my mother found Narconon.
If you or someone you love has a drug or alcohol problem, call Narconon today at 1-800-468-6933 or visit us at www.stopaddiction.com.
WJCU weather. Good afternoon, Cleveland. This is Mark checking in with your afternoon forecast for Friday, February 6th, 2004. Today, mostly cloudy skies, rain holding steady if it's not already. temperatures right around the mid-30s. Tonight, cloudy skies, temperatures falling to about 20 degrees. Once again, this has been Mark with your favorite college radio station.
88.7 WJCU.